Hi, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. We're so happy that you guys are here. So we're going to talk about today the next steps in the admissions process. So I hope you're all excited for that. You came loaded with the best questions ever because we're here to answer them for you today. So my name is Sarah Larson. I work here at the University of Skövde as an international coordinator. And I also have some of my colleagues here with me. So Andrea, would you like to introduce yourself next?
Sure, Sarah. So my name is Andrea. I work with Sarah here at the International Office. I'm also International Coordinator. And one of my tasks here, and the one that I really like the most, is to give information for students who are applying to study here in Sweden. So I'm going to ask my colleague Rosa to present herself.
Hi, my name is Rosa. I work at the admissions office.
Welcome. And we also have Annika here with us today.
Hello, I'm Annika Taylor and I'm a student here at the University of Skövde. I'm in my third year doing molecular biodesign bachelor's, and I'm here to talk about student life and answer any questions you may have about student perspective.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone. So glad to see so many prospective students joining and also my colleagues. So should we look a little bit at the agenda for today, maybe? Yeah, so first we're just going to go through a little bit of brief information about our university here in Skövde because we like to brag about that a little bit, of course. And we're also going to talk about the coming deadlines now that apply to all you guys that have applied to the university at the 2nd of February. And Dia is going to talk about why that date is important for you guys. And you will also learn how to complete your application correctly because we know from experience that that can be a little bit tricky sometimes. So we'll try to guide you through that and help you understand what documents you need to upload because that can differ a little bit from country to country. And so we'll go through that as well. You'll also receive good tips for applying for scholarships, as well as we will end with a Q&A where you guys get to ask all of your awesome questions. I'm sure a lot of you guys have the same questions, so that's going to be helpful for a lot of people, I'm sure. I'll also just briefly say that during this presentation, I think it's mostly Andrea that will be using QR codes. So if you guys have your phones ready, you can take a little snapshot of the QR code if you want to come back to it later, or you can just screenshot on your computer as well, that works. So yeah, just to let you guys know. So first, let me just tell you a little bit about our town, Skövde, maybe. Yeah, so this is the location. You can see it here on the map where Skövde is located if you had no idea from before. And in Skövde, or in Sweden in general, we have a concept that we like to call lagom. And I think a lot of people coming to Sweden will learn this word quite quickly because we use it a lot, actually. It is a great word because it means not too little, not too much, just the right amount. And we like to think that Skövde is just that. The location, to begin with, is very lagom. It's in the heart of Sweden, right in between the two biggest lakes, Lake Vänern and Lake Vättern. And it's also located almost perfectly halfway between Gothenburg and Stockholm, our biggest cities, as well as the biggest neighboring capitals, Oslo in Norway and Copenhagen in Denmark. And if we then go to the next slide, you can see some images that really capture the lagom feeling and spirit of Skövde. It is close to both nature and city life. The town itself is modern. There are shops, cafes that blend naturally into the surroundings with quiet streets and the greenery that surrounds us. In these pictures, you can also see on the top right the mountain Billingen. Billingen is our mountain that's located right in our city here in Skövde, and we're very proud of it because it has a lot of activities that we like to do. To some of you guys, it might not be a mountain, it might just be a little hill because it's only 300 meters high. It takes about 40 minutes to get to the top of Billingen, and that's the lagom amount of hiking we like to do here in Skövde, so it's actually quite perfect. Down to the right, you can see the monastery, which is located in Varnhem. And this is also a very lagom place because here history really, the spirit of the early kings and spiritual roots of Sweden is really right there for you to discover the history of Sweden. So I definitely recommend going there when you come to our area. But if we go to the next slide, let me tell you why Skövde is not so lagom. Skövde is actually the best student city in Sweden 2025. And I'm pretty sure no student city has been announced for 2026 yet. Am I right about that, guys? Yeah.
Yes.
So we're still reigning champions of being the best student city in Sweden, which we're of course very proud of. And I can also tell you that this is not only the first time, but the second time that Skövde has won this award. So we like to brag about that a little bit, of course. And this award was given to us because of our very nice welcoming of both national and international students and the contacts that students in our university get with the business and the public sector here in Skövde. And also because of our growing availability for student housing, of course. So how cool is that? You're actually coming to the best student city in Sweden when you're coming to Skövde. Let me also tell you a little bit about our university. So the University of Skövde, which is our university, is a public institution, and it was established in 1977 by an act of the Swedish Parliament. Today, we are a government agency under the Swedish Ministry of Education and Research. And as you can see from the pictures here, our university is kind of a mix of the old and the new. And this is because our university actually used to belong to the military because we are a military town. So a lot of these buildings used to belong to the military back in the days. And now the university has taken over them. We have kind of updated them, added new technology and decor, and this really provides a very unique modern environment for students and teachers. For instance, we have many outdoor study spaces with Wi-Fi where you can sit outside in the spring sunshine and enjoy studying here. But perhaps stay indoors in the winter because it can get quite cold around here. As you see from the photos, we do get snow that you can experience in the winter. And Sweden and this area that we're in is actually quite known for the distinct and colorful seasons that we have and that you will get to experience when you come here. So in the springtime, you will see a lot of beautiful flowers and greenery. In the summer, you can go for a swim on the beach. And in the autumn, there are a lot of red and yellow trees all around us. And of course, the snow, which I love personally in the winter. So definitely recommend testing some winter sports when you're here as well. So looking at our university at a glance here on the next slide, we can see that we have, I always say about, but this seems like a pretty specific number. So we have 11,558 students at the university and 495 staff. 2/3 of those are actually academic staff, and we're very proud of that because that means a lot of support for you guys, the students. You guys are, of course, the most important people at the university. So a lot of support for you guys. We have more than 60 student nationalities represented at the university, 24 international programs, 130 partner universities in more than 30 countries, and 450 incoming international students yearly, as well as 90 outgoing exchange students yearly. So that's quite a bit of students and staff. Let me just also show you quickly on the next slide the geography that's surrounding us here. So as you can see, this is an overview of our campus. The blue area is the university. It may look quite big on this picture, but it's actually not so big. It only takes a couple of minutes to go from the upper left corner to the further right corner. So it doesn't really take that long to get around. And this means that everything is walkable. Also, the student accommodations, they're all very close to the campus as well. So it's easy to get around for sure. The green area in this picture shows a place called Skövde Science Park. And this is actually one of the university's largest collaborators. The pink area in the picture shows our joint research and innovation environment that we have together. And this is a center of research and innovation that aims to create an interaction between the surrounding businesses in the community, as well as the academia of the university. If we go to the next slide, then we can also see that the university, maybe we don't have that slide, but I can also mention that we have 5 schools here at the university. So it is the School of Informatics, the School of Bioscience, the School of Business, the School of Health Science, as well as the School of Engineering Science. And yeah, that was a short, brief little overview of the university and our town, Skövde. And I hope that you like listening to that. And let's move on to Andrea, and she will tell you how to actually get here to Skövde and continue in your application procedure that you're in right now. So over to you, Andrea.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for the great introduction about our university. So let's move on to the application procedure and the next steps that you have to take in order to get admitted. Before we start, I would like you to get a screenshot to capture your cameras and go to Mentimeter to do a poll here very quick. Maybe Sarah can put in the chat the link to it. Let's see if I can go there and I can start the presentation. And if you can start voting now, you're already voting. I want to know, what have you applied for? You know, we have bachelor's programs and we have master's programs that are fully taught in English, totaling 24. So we have 4 bachelors and 20 masters. And well, I want to know, you know, if there are 91 people here now, 92 now, please vote so that we can see. And I think the majority is for masters, right? Please keep voting. And the link to vote is in the chat. And Sarah has put the link there.
Yes. And we can also remind you guys that we do have a Q&A box, don't we? So if you guys have questions, you can put them in the Q&A and we will get to them at the Q&A session later on or as we have time throughout the presentation, right, Andrea?
Yes, exactly. We're going to have a Q&A in the end. So, for example, the first question there about the program, it's exactly the program that Annika is studying. So she's going to answer you during the Q&A. And, you know, there are many questions about English. So I am going to talk about English. So please hold on that we have this in our presentation. So please keep voting 30 seconds more. If you don't have the link there, you can scan the QR code to get to vote. So I think we're gonna move on, because if you couldn't vote, I mean, this is the link here. Put the link again in the chat. Great. So I think I'm gonna continue to the next slide. Another question: in which country do you live? Please write the country that you live so that we know. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of different
A lot of
nationalities.
countries from all over the world.
Yeah, nice. And we also have some in the chat as well.
There are 98 people joining. Okay, 94 if we consider, no, 98 attendees and 4 panelists. So come on, guys, wow, it's so nice to see people from all over the world. Isn't it fun? We are a very international university and we are very happy about this.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Great. Thank you so much for voting. And so we're going to start now. So let's move on then to the application procedure. So I believe all of you have applied. And because the applications, we don't receive the applications to ourselves, all the applications are made via the website University Admissions. This website is the website of the Swedish Council for Higher Education. So all applications for bachelor's and master studies in Sweden must be made via this website, okay? And so it's on that website where you find the programs, where you submit the documents, so you do everything there. Now, if you are have citizenship in a country outside the EU or EEA area, you must pay an application fee that costs 900 Swedish crowns to the Swedish Council for Higher Education to process your application. So this is not paid to us. This is paid to the website, to the Swedish Council for Higher Education. 900 Swedish crowns is around 75 euros. Okay, I received some questions at the international office if we could waive this application fee, but unfortunately it's not possible. We cannot waive it because it's not paid to us. The one that is charging is the Swedish Council for Higher Education, so it's not possible to waive. And if you are an EU citizen, you need to document your citizenship in order to be exempt from this fee. So you need to upload a copy of your passport, okay? And please do this as soon as possible. They will only start working in your application after you pay the application fee or you document that you're exempt from the fee. I also got questions at the international office from Swedish students who are applying, and they asked if they had to submit a copy of their passport. If you're a Swedish student, then they know. We know, and people from the admissions office know, so you don't need to put any passport, right, Rosa? No passport for Swedish students, just for the international ones. And this is what we call the first admission round. So the applications, they opened on the 16th of October 2025, and the application closed on the 15th of January. A few programs, some of the programs are, it is still possible to make a late application now, but the deadline to apply was the 15th of January. So let's continue. It is important for you to know that if you are applying to bachelor's programs, you can apply up to 8 programs in Sweden. And if you're applying to master's, you can apply up to 4 master's programs. But for both of you, you can only be admitted into 1 program. This is very different than in other countries. So you may qualify to all of the programs you apply to, but you can only be admitted to 1. And this is very important. So I'm going to read this for you because I'm trying to explain how it works, okay? So the ranking of the program is really important. So the selection process works a bit differently in Sweden. You will first be considered for the program you have ranked the highest. I believe most of the people who are here have chosen the University of Skövde as their first option, and we are very proud and thankful for that. So, because when we receive the applications, we check that most of you have, chosen us as your first option, and this is great. So, if you meet the entry requirements and there is a place available for you in the program, you will receive the admission offers for your first option, okay? All the programs that you ranked lower then will be deleted. Remember, you can only be admitted to 1 program. So if you choose us as first and then other programs at other universities, then you get admitted to us and the other programs will be deleted. Now, if you meet the entry requirements and there is a place available, this I read, yeah. Now, if you're not offered a place in your first program on your list, maybe because you don't meet the requirements, or maybe because you be placed in the waiting list, and then you can get admitted into your second choice. Then your second choice will be evaluated, and then your third choice, and so on, all of your choices. And another thing, but you can only be offered one study place. As soon as you are offered a place in a program, all the other lower ranked programs will be deleted. Okay, and these things will happen automatically in the system because you have already been evaluated by all the programs, by all the universities. So it's not that you're going to receive the information another day. So it's on the day that we announce the results, you're going to be evaluated. You got the first program, then all the other ones will get deleted. If you're not admitted into your first option, then going to check the second one, and then the other ones, you can be admitted there. But this is automatic, and you're going to receive this information on the day that we're going to release the admissions in the end of March. But it's important. Do not change the order of programs now, because the deadline to do that was on the 1st of January. So don't change the order of programs at this stage. If you go to the deadlines for the first admission round on university admissions, so we can see that the deadline on the 15th of January was the application deadline for an on-time application. And this was also the last day to rank the programs. So if you change the ranking of the programs now, your application will change to a late application, and you don't want that. And I'm going to explain why in the coming slides. So what I want to tell you now is this deadline on the 2nd of February. There are 3 deadlines, okay? It's the application fee deadline. Remember, I talked about the application fee that they charge to process your application. And it's the last day for your payments to be made for this application. And also, if you are exempt because you are an EU citizen or a citizen from any country in the EEA area, you have to, until that day, to document that. And also to submit all required supporting documents to your application. So if you are on time with everything and you're applying to masters, you're going to receive your admission results on the 26th of March. And if you're applying to bachelors, you're going to receive your admission results on the 31st of March. And then you're going to start studying here in the end of August, beginning of September. And if you go here, as Sarah mentioned, there are QR codes. If you scan the QR codes, you can go to the webpage where you see all these deadlines, okay? Yes, and let's move on. It's important for you to know about the dates. Some of you maybe can do everything on time, and that's the best thing, that you meet all these deadlines, okay? And so I'm going to talk about 3 scenarios here. 1, you have everything on time. 2, you have the application on time, but you have late documents. Or 3, you are completely late with everything if you have not applied or so on. But let's move on. Scenario 1. So you apply and you receive the documents, everything until the 2nd of February. Okay, that's the deadline for the 2nd of February. What happens? Then you're going to receive your admission results as planned. As I said that, if it's for masters on the 26th of March, and if it's for bachelors, it's on the 31st of March. Great. And you also have the possibility to be eligible for the master scholarships that we offer, the University of Skövde master scholarships, or the Swedish Institute scholarships for global professionals, or the scholarship Pioneering Women in STEM, also from the Swedish Institute. So you need to be on time to be eligible for these scholarships, okay? I hope you all can meet these requirements. Now, scenario 2, you applied on time, and even we even consider application until the 2nd of February, and you submit the documents until the 2nd of your documents are late, see, after the 2nd of February. So you apply on time, but then your documents are after the deadline. And then what happens? Then your application will be deleted in the end of March when we process and we give the results. And why? Because your documents will, the documents that are submitted after the deadline on the 2nd of February will not be assessed then. We only going to assess that document in later on in March, or April. So your documents that you submitted late will not have been assessed. So all the results will be deleted. You are not going to be admitted. If that's the case, if you submit a document, let's say on the 3rd of February, okay? So you have an on-time application and you submit the documents, let's say on the 3rd, 4th of February, 2 days late, 1 day late, then your application will end up being deleted. And then you have to contact Rosa at the admissions office. You can see her email there, and ask to change your application to a later date. Then your application will be the date of your application will not be on time anymore. She can put the same date, the date that you submitted this document that was late. So suppose your document was on the 3rd of February, 1 day late. Then she will make your application late and put that your application was on the 3rd of February, and so on, to the date that you submit the late document. Okay, this is the only option for you. And and the email is admission@his.sc. I hope you got it. And then the third scenario, this is the second scenario. And now the third scenario is that you have everything is late. The application is late, the document is late, but then the admission will be in April. Remember that we don't give the results for the late applications before. The on-time applications will be on the 26th of March and on the 31st of March, depending if it's masters or bachelors. So only after that, probably in mid-April, we're gonna give the late applications. And then, unfortunately, for those scholarships that I mentioned, there's no possibility for scholarships, okay? You need to be on time, like scenario 1, in order to be able to be considered for the scholarships, okay? Yes, so now let's move on, and I'm going to talk about the English language requirements. I saw so many questions about the English language requirements, and we're going to talk about this. So for all of our international programs, the proof of English skills that you have to submit to us must be equivalent to studies at high school level, upper secondary level here in Sweden, known as English B or English 6 or even English level 2, depending on when you studied. And this can be demonstrated by an IELTS or TOEFL tests. But in fact, there are 3 ways for you to demonstrate your English level, and it depends on the country where you have studied. So it could be through upper secondary studies, it could be through previous university studies, or with an English proficiency test. IELTS or TOEFL are the most common ones. And you have to check the country-specific information. I have another slide for country-specific information, but I can show you something here on the webpage. This is the webpage for the English, and I'm going to put in the chat. Oh, Sarah has already put it there. Thank you, Sarah. So here,
Of course.
so it's English 6, okay? Not English 7, English 6 here. So these are the 3 ways here, how you can meet the requirements, the 3 ways. Meeting with upper secondary studies, we are going to see in the specific country page. We can take a look at it later. Or with previous university studies, and then you read here So it should be, if you have 60 credits with English as the language of instruction from an EU, EEA country, Switzerland, or certain other English-speaking countries. So if you have 60 credits, then you may meet the English requirements. You have to read here. And these are the countries, so EEA, EU, EEA countries, 60 countries, or you have the list of countries here, and these are English-speaking countries, okay? And they also mentioned that the language of instruction must be clearly stated on official documents. You can also document this by submitting a certificate letter from your university in addition to your official study, but only from these countries, okay? Not other countries, it's these countries. And also, it cannot be from a preparatory program. It has to be university level, 60 credits. Also, African countries, if you have a bachelor's degree, you from these countries here in Africa, then you meet the English requirement just with your bachelor's degree certificate. So you don't need an IELTS in that case. Okay, so please read the information here, how you meet it with previous university studies. You can also, if you don't meet with that, then I'm going to show you the English test. So you can meet with an IELTS. They explain the IELTS that are accepted. They explain what is not accepted and the overall score for the IELTS. So it's an overall score of 6.5 and no section below 5.5. And how you submit it is here as well. You know, these IELTS tests, they need to be verified online. They even mentioned that even older than 2 years can be accepted if they still can be verified. And the TOEFL IBT can be accepted as well. And then it's this score of 20 in a scale from 0 to 30 in the written test, and a total score of 90. They also explain how you submit the TOEFL tests, okay? And there are other examinations. For example, the Cambridge, Michigan Language Assessments, ECPE, gives you the equivalence to English 6 as well. And yeah, so this is this ECPE, Michigan assessments, how you submit the tests. The PTE is also usual in certain countries. So this is the score minimum of 62 and in the writing 61. Please be careful if you have taken the PTE, because there is something here, you know, here in Europe, there is this thing of data protection, and I believe it's because of that. When they verify, it seems that university admissions cannot verify it normally, as they can do with the IELTS and the TOEFL. You need to log in to your PTE account, and then you have to manually, you know, assign your test results to university admissions in Sweden. So you have to click on something there in your account. These will enable university admissions to verify your test online score. Okay, so this is something that is different than the others, and you have to keep an eye on it if you have done it. Now, if you have taken also the CPE or the CAE, the Cambridge examinations, then they are also accepted. Yes, so this is the English. So I have talked about meeting with an English test and with previous university studies. I'm going to come back about upper secondary studies, okay, later, because then it's country specific. Now, the documents that you need if you're applying to bachelor studies. So in general, it's your upper secondary school certificate, so your high school certificate, and it's in the original language and the official translation in English. You always need both, okay? Of course, if your school issues it in English, then you don't need to translate it, right? But always original language and English. And also the grade transcript also. So it's the document showing all the syllabus, all the subjects, and the grades and the years. So for all the years in the original language and the official translation in English as well. Plus the proof of English skills, then it depends on the country, and we're gonna take a look at it later, and the passport copy. And is there anyone here graduating from high school in June 2026? Probably yes, right? So the thing is that this is the first admission round, and you need to submit all the documents by the 2nd of February. And if you're only going to finish school in May or June, you don't have the documents, and that's a problem. So you cannot be admitted. But if you are an EU citizen or a citizen from the EEA area, you have another option. You can apply during the 2nd admission round via the national website antagning.se. This is a website that is in Swedish, but it's very similar to University admissions, and it's for application from Swedish students. And it has different deadlines. So we can talk about this later. You can apply. Application will open on the 15th of March. Okay, and then you can submit the documents later. I can show you here. So it's gonna follow this. It's gonna be on the 16th of March, and then you have until the supporting documentation deadline on the 18th of June to submit your documents, okay? And then you receive the results on the 10th of July. Please keep on, be aware that this is like 5 weeks before you have to be in Sweden. So you have to be very fast. This is why this is only for EU citizens, because then you can move here. You don't need to apply for visa or anything. Now, if you have this IB program or something, you have until the 5th of July to submit documentation and so on, but there's a specific page for that. I'm gonna show you the link later. So as I mentioned, this is a possibility only for EU citizens. Non-EU citizens, you cannot do this. You should not apply via Antagning.se, because if you get admitted, you don't have time to apply for visa. Now, if you are an EU citizen and you want to apply via this, the programs open in this second admission round is the program Biomedicine Bachelor's Program, Molecular Biodesign Bachelor's Program, and Molecular Bioinformatics. So you're going to be applying together with the Swedish students for the same program, okay? And you have to think about accommodation now. You have to put your name in the queue. We're going to talk about but you have to do this now. Don't wait, okay? IB studies. If you are in the last year, you have to apply during the second admission round, the same thing. And if you are non-EU citizen, you shouldn't apply now. For the autumn semester, applicants with an IB diploma awarded in May 2026, you must ask the IB coordinator at your school to make your results available to university admissions by 5th of July. There is this webpage with this information where I got this, and this is the link, and I can put it in the chat for you for the IB studies. So you read it there, and you can apply as if you were a Swedish student. Now, applying to master studies. The required documents are the bachelor's degree certificate, also original language, and the official translation in English, both, okay? Of course, if your university issues the degree certificate in English already, of course, it's only that. Now, the full grade transcript for all semesters, also in the original language and the official translation in English. And proof of English skills equivalent to English 6, I'm going to talk about this, and passport copy. Now, there is a difference here. If you are in the last year of your bachelor studies, you can still apply, okay? If you're going to graduate in June, May, June next year, you can still apply. Let's see if I have a slide. Yeah, then you need to submit this form. And this is the information for you. For the ones who are in the final year of bachelor studies. And there is this form that I was showing, statement of enrollment. It's this form that you're going to ask your university to complete this part and sign and stamp, and you complete this part here. And the person at the university who needs to do it is a representative of the academic registrar's office, the examinations office, or the equivalent at the institution. It cannot be anyone from the faculty. It cannot be the head of the department, the teacher. No, it has to be someone working at the administration of the university, like the academic registrar's office, examinations officer, or something equivalent. And this is the link for you. For the form. It's in the chat. And yeah, now I'm going to the country-specific instructions, because here you're gonna get information about the country. I'm gonna check bachelor's or master's, doesn't matter. I remember that when we were talking about the English, some of you may meet the English with our high school studies. So we check here. So which country? We saw many countries there, right? When you were talking about the countries here, we had many countries. So let's check here. Pakistan, for example. I can go here too. Pakistan. So if you're applying to bachelors in this case, okay, so it says that this is how you meet the general entry requirements. So if you're applying to bachelors, you need to have these high school studies, one of these, and then if there are mathematics requirements, but it says that English, you don't meet the requirements with the English, and then you need to provide an IELTS certificate, okay? And let's check another country. Let's check Nigeria. That was another country that was important here. And Nigeria, for example, for the English requirements, you can meet the English requirements with one of this, okay? So I'm going to put this in the chat. It's this link to applying to bachelor's. And this is the link. And I'm going to go back now, and I'm going to check another country for masters instead. Yes, masters. And this is applying to masters. I'm going to put here in the chat to masters. And wait, sorry, I have to delete this. Yes. And so let's check another country here. Let's check Ghana. And then Ghana here. So how you meet the general entry requirements, and you can meet the English requirements with this. This is for high school, right? And they say also that if you have students with a completely documented bachelor's degree from a recognized university in Ghana are considered to have sufficient. So you can meet with your bachelor's degree or with your high school if you're from Ghana. This is why you always have to check the country. So the last two links that I put in the chat are very important, because then you go there and you check the information for the English for your country, and not only for the English, you can also check the information to meet the general entry requirements of the program. Because for example, if you're applying to masters here, you need to have a bachelor's degree equivalent to 180 credits. This is the general. Depending on the program, you may have specific entry requirements to be in a specific field or specific courses. So depending on the program, right? But as a general rule, if you want to study a master's in Sweden, you need to have a bachelor's degree that is equivalent to our bachelor's degree. And on the website, you are going to check what it is. For example, we can check here India. Yeah, India. And then for entry into a master's program, the minimum requirement is a 3-year bachelor's degree with honors, or a 4-year bachelor's degree, or a bachelor's degree followed by a master's degree, 4 years of study in total. So if you have this, the Swedish Council for Higher Education will give you the equivalence to 180 credits here, and that's the minimum, okay? So you have this country by country. Okay, so you can see this, you can see the English requirements, how you meet the English requirement, and this is very important that you check the country that you have studied. Yes, and scholarships. There were some questions about scholarships, and I'm going to talk about them. So for bachelor studies, we as a university, we don't offer scholarships for bachelor studies. Unfortunately, we don't have this funding for the bachelors. So we encourage you to explore scholarship possibilities in your home country, or even through various global organizations. We know a little bit by country. We don't know much, but sometimes we receive information. For example, if you are from Canada, the University of Skövde is registered with the Canadian government and is listed as a designated educational institution. So we can accept students with the Canadian loan schemes. So with more information, you have to visit the website about this website here that is in, let's see if I can open it. I think I have problems with my internet. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So, for example, this is from the Canadian government, and if you have a scholarship from your government and you need something from us, like that we fill out papers and all that, there's no problem. We can do that for you. Okay. So there is also something called We Make Scholars in India, and they say they are the largest education finance platform, which helps students to finance their higher education. So they have the scholarship part and they have the educational loan part. So you can go and check on their website as well. And in the United States, we are also, if you are eligible for the GI Bill benefits through the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, the VA, these benefits may cover your tuition fees and the living expenses at the University of Skövde. So for more information, you have to go to the Foreign Programs, Veteran Affairs, to check if you are eligible for these scholarships, for these benefits. And then after you are admitted, you contact us, and then you can contact us as a scholarship at his.sc, and we can inform them and do all the papers, And at the moment, all of our bachelor's programs are available and a couple of master's programs are available. But as soon as, if you're admitted to a master's program here and it's still not available via the VA, you inform us. As soon as you receive the admission, I send in the papers to get the master's approved. So we can do that. But we only do that if you get the students approved. We're not going to do the work if there are no students. So all bachelors are already approved. And if you get admitted to a master's that is not approved yet, we have 2 or 3 that are already approved, but we can send in the papers for you. And as I said, if there are forms or things that we have to fill out so that you can get your country scholarships, I mean, from any agency from your country, just contact us and we can check this possibility. Now we're going to talk about scholarship opportunities for masters. And the first one I'm going to talk about is the University of Skövde Master Scholarships. And this is a partial tuition fee waiver that covers 50% of the tuition fee. And it is available for all non-EU master's applicants who choose the University of Skövde as their first option on university admissions. And the application is already open, and the deadline to apply is on the 10th of February. So, so here you can read about what is required, the information required from you, and then you click on the application link is here. Here, submit your application. So this is the application link. You just submit things here, okay? You need to submit everything that is required here, you know, everything. You need to record a 2-minute video explaining why you want to take the program. You don't need to do anything advanced. You can film with your own mobile phone. You just have to be sure that we can see you and we can hear you, what you're saying, okay? But you don't need to have any skills in making something simple. Just be yourself and tell us why you want to take the program. And you can read more about this here. Don't send us any documents, any file, any video, anything. We're not going to download anything. We suggest you that you upload this video to YouTube, and then you mark this video as unlisted. So nobody will find this video unless you send a link. Don't put password to any video. We don't. If you put password, then we cannot consider it, because different people will watch a video at different times. So, you know, the program director, people from the scholarship committee, and we don't know, they're not, just the scholarship committee will watch a video later maybe, but different people will watch it before. So don't keep any password, you know, make it open, but unlisted, so that we can and send us the link. Great. I'm telling you this because I got some questions about the scholarship. Another scholarship that we have is a very good scholarship. It's fully funded, and so it covers the full tuition fee, and even you receive monthly allowances to cover your living expenses. I think there is even travel grants, also one to fly to Sweden. And this is available for master's applicants from 34 eligible countries. And the application is via the Swedish Institute. So this is not any scholarship that we offer, it's the Swedish Institute. And the application will be open from the 9th to the 25th of February. And then you can see the countries and all that here. 34 countries. And I think I sent an email to the students from those countries before, but you see them here, right? And it's available for eligible programs. So it's for the biomarkers in molecular medicine at our university, business development and marketing, cognitive neuroscience, mind and brain, and data science, both the 1 year and the 2 years. So if you have applied to these countries and these programs, and you come from the countries, you should have received an email from us reminding you to apply. You need to have some work experience and some leadership experience as well, but if you have that, I really recommend it to apply. Another great scholarship is from the Swedish Institute, also is the Pioneering Women in STEM. It's the same benefits from the previous one, covers the full tuition fee, covers the living costs, so you receive money every month, and also the travel expenses to Sweden. And it's available for female master's applicants from 10 countries. And also it's the same application period from the 9th to the 25th of February. And this is the link. And it's only 10 countries, and some countries in Africa and in Asia, okay? And I'm going to show you the programs available at the University of Skövde for this. So it's for biomarkers in molecular medicine, and data science, both the 1 year and the 2 year. So there is a requirement as well to have some work experience and leadership skills. Great. Leadership, okay, I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but okay, so here at the university, we have many partners across several industries. For example, we collaborate with world-leading companies to drive innovation and so on in different fields. So in the automotive, we have Volvo, Scania. In technology, electronics, we have ABB, Huawei, Microsoft. And in engineering, manufacturing engineering, we collaborate with Sandvik, IKEA. In healthcare and life science, we work with AstraZeneca. We have lots of research with them. And food and agriculture, we work closely with the Swedish food brand Arla. So we have lots of collaboration, and I have to mention also the collaboration we have with Volvo. We are the Volvo preferred research partner in the Volvo Group Academic Partner Program in the field of virtual manufacturing, process point analysis and maintenance. So, and these connections that we have with the industry, they're very good. They give you real world experience and improved career prospects so that you can work with leading companies on innovative and practical projects. So the courses that are project-based within your program will be conducted with one of our partners within the industry. And this is something very good for you that is going to give you industry connections. And I don't know why this. I'm going to skip all this because I wasn't planning to talk about this. But Sarah, let's talk about student life and accommodation. Would you like
Of course.
do that?
Yes, thank you for a very thorough rundown of the application process so far, Andrea. You're doing great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I know it's a lot to go through, and so let us take a little break from the technical stuff that Andrea was talking about, and I'll tell you a little bit about the learning and teaching style that we have here in Sweden. And in the meantime, you will also be getting some responses in the Q&A, I'm sure, in written form. But let's talk a little bit about the learning and teaching style that we have here at the University of Skövde and just in general in Sweden, because this is something that I think many international students that I've talked to find quite different from what they're used to in their home countries. And I know every country is different, of course, but here in Sweden, we focus a lot on independent thinking and independent study. And what this means is basically that you might only have a few hours of studies in class every single week, but you're still expected to do full-time studies of 40 hours. So this means that even if you're not in class, you're still expected to study. You're still expected to study on your own, to read and discuss course material with others. Maybe you're in a group or you're working together, and you need to plan time for that outside of class, because that is also an important part of studying and growing as both a person and a student for the future, of course. You will also find here in Sweden that we have a very flat organization. So as you've probably noticed by now, for instance, me and Andrea and Rosa and Annika, we go by first names. And this is not because it's just us and we're a small group that know each other super well, which we do, but it's also because this is a thing that happens across almost every single area of our community here in Sweden. I think the only person that I wouldn't call by the first name is probably the king and queen and like the royal family. Everybody else, first name basis. So your professor is their first name. So if your professor's name is Martin, you're going to call him Martin. Like that's just how we do it here. And I know a lot of people find that a little bit strange and intimidating in the beginning, but you'll get used to it after a while. The student is always at the center of the education that we provide here at the University of Skövde. And like I said earlier, we do have 2/3 academic staff here at our school. And that means that there's a lot of focus on support from the teachers to the students. They're constantly enabling the students to develop critical thinking skills, analytical thinking skills, independent research skills, group work, problem solving skills, leadership skills, and so on, that really prepares you for your future careers. We're also, like we said earlier, very proud to have a very international campus, a lot of international students from different countries here. And this creates very global classrooms where students encounter different cultural perspectives and start building their international networks while they're still students. And I think this is an awesome opportunity that you guys won't want to miss out on. If we go to the next slide, let me see. This is something that we have here at the university that is, I don't know if it's unique to our university, but we're very proud to be able to offer you guys this. We have free Swedish courses. So we have 2 of these. The first one you can see on this slide. It is called Swedish Society and Swedish Culture. And the reason that we offer the free Swedish courses is that we feel that knowing the language, like even if you only know a little bit of Swedish, a lot of people in Sweden you should know speak super good English. Like I'm a native Swedish person. I've lived here most of my life and I speak English every day and a lot of people do. So don't worry if you can only speak English when you come here, but it's always good to know a little bit of Swedish. And it's also a good way to boost your career if you feel like you want to stay in Sweden after your studies are over, for instance, or if you want to do maybe some work at a company during your studies, do your thesis somewhere. It's great if you know a little bit of Swedish. So we do offer these free Swedish courses. Like I said, the first one is Swedish Society and Swedish Culture, and it kind of gives you a brief introduction into the Swedish culture and our Swedish society, focusing on geography, culture, society, and history. The second course, if we go to the next slide, is called Swedish for Foreign Students. And after you've completed this course, you'll be able to introduce yourself, ask some basic questions regarding maybe jobs, studies, interests, and other things like that. And yeah, just masters like the basic Swedish phonology and pronunciation. And the first course, it's important to mention, I know it said it on the slide, but that one is free of tuition fee if you take it during your first semester. And the second course is free if you take it during the second semester studies only. So just remember that. But this is a great opportunity for you guys, so definitely take advantage of it. And I know a lot of our students, like sometimes I will go into their profiles and I see what like courses they're in right now, and a lot of the students are in these courses. So it's also a great way to like network and meet new people, of course. So if we go to the next slide, then I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking like, where will we live when we come to Skövde and Sweden? And Andrea might want to show post a link to the registration page for Skövdebostäder in the chat. So if you're coming with a family, if you're coming with pets, if you're coming alone, you can also sign up here. Skövdebostäder is the largest landlord in Skövde. They have more than 5,000 apartments, so it's quite a big landlord actually. And they have 2 different queue systems. So they do have one for regular apartments, but also one for student apartments. And so one of the greatest tips that I've heard from students is to sign up for this queue like right now. As soon as you've applied to the university and you think you might want to come here, sign up for the queue, because you get 1 point every single day that you are in the queue. And once you guys come here, you will have already gathered quite a few points, right? So it's a good idea to sign up for the queue basically as soon as you can, probably today. Sandra is showing that on the screen right now.
Yeah, maybe we can show them how to do it.
Of course, yeah. Since you're sharing, go ahead.
Go to my pages, Mina Sidor here, and then you don't have a bank ID or anything like that. So if you are from outside Sweden, maybe there are Swedish students who already have, but from other cities, and then you have to put your name there in the queue, right? So you go and then you log in with using your bank ID. But if you don't have it, don't panic. Don't have an account, sign up, you click here, and then you want to register as an applicant here. Okay, and then this is the link. I'm gonna even put the link to this. You have to do this today if you haven't done. Register as an applicant, continue, and then they want to ask your personnummer in Swedish or your social security number in Sweden. If you don't have it, you don't have it, right? If you are from abroad, you don't have it, no problem. You do this. You have to write your birthday in this format. 4 digits for the year, 2 digits for the month, and 2 digits for the day. And then you click here. So suppose you were born in 2004 and August 20th. Fine. And then you click here. It generates some 4 digits there, 4 letters there, right? And then this is just temporary so that the system can accept, and then you click on register, and then you open the application form where you can fill out all your information. Please do it after this webinar, okay? You have the link to the registration over there. And if you are Swedish, just log in normally with your personal number, with your bank ID, okay? Great.
Yeah,
Maybe Annika wants to say something about
yes, I was gonna say, like, Annika is one of our students, as we talked about before when she introduced herself. And I think you are probably the person that can talk about student life much more than I can, because I've actually never been a student at the University of Skövde. I've only been a student at other universities here in Sweden. So Annika, can you tell us a little bit about what it was like coming here to the University of Skövde for the first time?
If you're an international student, they have like this introduction week, which is before the courses start and the programs start. But I really recommend attending those because they really dive deep into what to expect with your studies, and you can meet your fellow course mates as well. And I also recommend signing up for Hofdebostador quite early on, because a lot of people may miss that chance to get an apartment when they arrive here. So speaking from experience, getting in the queue as soon as possible definitely will help. And yeah, I really recommend signing up for the Swedish courses as well. They really helped me a lot. I didn't know a single word of Swedish when I moved here, only hello, hey, that was it. So the Swedish language courses really helped a lot. So I really recommend taking those too. So yeah.
Yeah, those are great tips. So did you have anything when you first came to Sweden? What was the thing that surprised you the most about maybe Swedish society or the university? Or
Actually, I was mainly surprised about the diversity, like the international cultural diversity here, because I expected it to be mainly Swedish students, as it's quite a small town. But I was very surprised that I've actually met people from all over the world, which was a very pleasant surprise. So don't feel scared that you might be a foreigner. Like, you'll find a lot of other people in the same position. So it's really nice community here, which I really appreciate.
yeah, that's nice. That's really nice to hear, Annika.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was there anything, because I always think it's fun to ask our international students this, was there anything you thought like, wow, these people are crazy, I can't believe they do this, or like...
Actually, I think the concept of fika was really interesting, that they
Yeah.
have a whole dedicated time just to take a break and drink coffee, have a pastry. Never heard of that before. And they have their own word for it, because in English we just say take a break or something. But in Sweden, it's quite, part of the culture as well to have that work-life balance, which is really nice. So that was a pleasant surprise as well.
Yeah, so will you continue doing the fika even when you're not in Sweden?
Of course,
Yes.
It's part of my life now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think for Andrea too, you're from Brazil, so you moved here how many years ago? 13 now, or
17 years, almost
17,
18 years. So
yeah.
this year is gonna be 18 years that I moved from Brazil here. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember something that you thought was like, oh, this is crazy? What are you guys doing?
Not crazy, but I think what I could notice is that I come from a very big city. I come from Rio de Janeiro, and it's crazy, so many people and sounds, and here so quiet. And it was, this, it was quiet. I couldn't hear anything,
Yeah.
and this was a great difference. And also, there's closeness to nature is amazing. And here, in Rio, it's kind of dangerous. There's a lot of criminality and so on. For example, there are forests within the city. For example, we can't go walking there. I mean, you're gonna be very scared of walking in the
Oh,
forest alone. And here, you can be in the forest alone and without fear. I mean,
yeah.
amazing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so nice. Yeah, it's always so nice to hear what you guys think.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I think it gives a good idea too, since we have a lot of people from different nationalities and different countries here. So it's very nice that you guys share your things.
Yeah, and the fika
Uh,
is amazing also.
the fika, yeah, yeah. I love that too, obviously, but I'm Swedish, so it's not so strange for me, but I do have international friends that find it quite weird. So but yes, for everyone watching right now, like fika, that is the time of day, usually twice a day, one time in the morning time after sometime like 2 hours after breakfast, and then after like 2 hours after lunch, we will sit down together, like our whole office. We come together, we sit down, we have some maybe a pastry or some coffee, or some people have a sandwich, and we just talk. And it's also a very social event. So it's very nice. Yeah. Annika, do you have anything more that you would like to share with us?
Um, yeah, I would like to add on to what Andrea said because I actually was born and raised in Dubai, which is a quite big city. And one thing I like about living here is that everything is so walkable. So you don't have to worry about owning a car or having a bike or anything. You can just walk everywhere, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Um, and I think another perk of living in a small town is the safety as well. Like you can feel safe here, and it's a small community as well, so that also helps a lot. So I appreciate the quieter life here too, which is nice. If that's something you enjoy, then this is definitely the place for you.
Yeah.
It's nice, and I think it's a great place for someone moving away from home for the first time as well to like settle into. You have a lot of assistance and help and other people around you, and it's a small place, so I feel like it's easier to settle in as well. So I think it's a great start if you're moving away from home for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. That's wonderful. So what is your favorite thing about the university or your program?
Actually, I got a question about that as well.
Mm,
But I would say definitely the elaboration and the laboratory studies. Because in my program, I'm doing molecular by design. It's quite lab focused. So we have a lot of hands-on experience in the lab. We do a lot of experiments. So we have a lot of lectures, but also we have a balance of labs to go with it. So you can put the knowledge to the test in the lab as well, which is really nice. And I would say that's my favorite thing, actually. Like the amount of lab work I get to do, it's very fun. So I love that.
yeah. Are
Yeah.
you a big group of people in your class?
Actually, it's quite a small class. It's around, right now, we have just 15 people in our class. So it's quite nice actually having like this close-knit community as well, and being able to talk to your professor one-on-one, because I feel like in bigger universities, maybe you miss that opportunity to have a relationship with them as well. So I think that's a big perk as well of like having a smaller university. It's, yeah, more personal, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you agree with what I talked about earlier with the flat organization and the more like independent learning
Mhm.
style? And how has that been for you?
Yeah, actually, it was quite a shock to come here because where I was born and raised, we have to address professors as Mr. or Sir or Ma'am, or, it's quite formal. So it was quite a adjustment to just call them by their first name. But I really like that because it removes that, hierarchy that you're talking about as well,
Yeah.
and makes you feel more comfortable to talk to them as well about things. Um, and definitely independent as well. Like you have a lot of time to study by yourself, and it's your responsibility to keep up with the work. And yeah, like there's no pressure on that. But of course, you have deadlines, but it's your responsibility to manage your own time, which I think is also nice. So yeah.
Yeah. Was that very different for you from what you were used to before?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because where I was from, it was more strict in terms of what you did with your time, and they may even have like a study plan for you that you have to follow. But in this university, it's nice that you have a lot of freedom to do what you want as well, and also take other courses that maybe is not in your program as well, which is nice. So
Yeah.
a lot of freedom.
I think a lot of people are usually, or questions that I get as an international coordinator is like, what will it be for me when I get there? Are there going to be like organizations that I can join where there are other international students, or how will I meet friends? Like, how has that been for you?
Well, like I mentioned previously, the introduction week really helped because I didn't know a single person in Sweden actually, and it was quite scary. But meeting everyone was so nice. And also, we have a lot of societies here, which you can join depending on your program, which field of work you're in. Because for me, I'm in Vitae, which is like the science society, and they have like an organization there as well where they do events, activities for you. Also ESN, which is Erasmus Student Network. You can meet a lot of international students too. They do a lot of activities almost every day. So there are many ways where you can meet people as well, which is really nice. So you're never alone. And you always have something to do outside of studies, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's comforting for a lot of people to hear that it's quite easy to meet friends.
It is, yeah.
And I've also seen, like, I know ESN, they have an Instagram and they post a lot of their activities there, and it's yeah, they seem to do a lot of fun things. So yeah, nice. Yeah, on this slide that we're seeing right now on the screen, we can also see some of the testimonials from our past students. We have Teresa here from Nigeria. She says that the best thing about the University of Skövde is its strong emphasis on practical learning and innovation. We have Elliot from France. He says one of the best experiences has been working on hands-on projects with my peers from different backgrounds. And we have Boshra here from Syria. She says the Skövde struck me as the perfect place to kickstart my career as a researcher. And Faith Grace from the UK, she says international education has expanded my experiences and perspectives. And I always think it's so nice to, like, we're really proud of these international students. We're so happy to have hosted them here. We also have a nice video here, Andrea. Do you think we should show this?
Yes, I think it's good. It's a very short one, but it's a very nice video. So I'm going to show you this very fast.
Yeah.
Right after graduating from bachelor's, I already found work. So I have been working as a consultant in bioinformatics for the past 1.5 years, and as a researcher in bioinformatics for the past 7 or 8 months. I'm in Gothenburg at Sahlgrenska Academy. So in about 2 months, I'll begin my PhD with the same research group that I've been working with, and I will work as a consultant on the side. So thankfully, it's all planned out. In the beginning, I was very much ready to say, oh, university taught me nothing, but turns out every single analysis courses that I took, every single biology courses I took had some sort of contribution in what the clients wanted, because the teachers are very close to knowing what the real research at the moment looks like. And it ended up translating very, very well. With that being said, the real projects are more complicated. They require difficult methods, but the trampoline was set up by Skövde, particularly the bachelor's program, which was very strong. I felt I was strong. My colleagues that graduated were very strong. I know they're all working at different places, and it has set me up very, very nicely, I think. The best thing clearly was the teachers. I started to have more and more belief in them. They started to know me better. I started to know them better. So I will name some names as well. Zelmina, Sanya, Benjamin, great people. I found my career through Zelmina and her connections. That's the first thing. The second thing is I got to stay close to my family. My family is originally from India, and they own the best Indian restaurant in Skövde and Falköping. And that sort of like joint supportive atmosphere from Skövde teachers and my family really sort of, I feel, set me up for success. And the fact that the classrooms and the atmosphere is like just small scale enough that you can have quite a bit of a connection with the teachers, and I think I did. And in the evening, I'm going to meet Zelmina and tell her all about my adventures over the last 8 months.
I like this video. You know, Mohit, he studied with us molecular bioinformatics at bachelor's level, and then he did this systems biology with his specialization in bioinformatics, the master's program, 2 years. Yes. So this is our email.
Yeah.
And if you have questions, you can email us at the international office, right? study@his.se. Generally, Sarah that is answering the emails, but sometimes
Yes.
I do that too.
Yeah.
And Rosa has a different email. Her email is Amishan. But yeah, this is the end of our presentation. So we wish you all the best on your application. So
Definitely.
thank you very
Yeah.
much. Now it's the Q&A.